What's going on, guys? So haven't made a video in like 3 weeks. I do have a reason for that. The Mustang, when I took it out there, it did not break at the drift event, but it was broken before I got there. I still did a bunch of laps. I think I did like 6 or 7 or 8 laps. I did plenty of laps because I burned one set of tires. Really wanted to do like 20 or 30 laps, maybe even 40. This next event that I'm going to, and it's going to be here in the next couple weeks, I think 2 weeks. This is all team bash, so they're going to have a drift event and a car show. I'm going to be recording the car show. I'm going to try to get some clips of the drifting, but this laps event, I really didn't record that much. My wife recorded a little bit of it, and my friend's parents recorded some of it. But other than that, I don't have really any clips of it because I only did like 7 or 8 laps. So the reason behind me only doing 7 or 8 laps is my fault, kind of. We all worked on the car together, so we had to replace the pinion bearing. The pinion bearing was leaking. And when the pinion bearing was leaking, it was fine. Nothing happened. Well, when we took the nut off for the pinion, it tells you to count the threads, certain tightness, certain slack. Did it, didn't leak, drove it all the way to the Stuttgart, which is like 2.5 hours from me. Get there, the car starts sounding like the brakes are dragging. It's just loud. I was like, well, it only does it whenever I'm coasting. So, I mean, driving, it didn't make the noise. So I ended up just driving the car, did some laps, and finally I stopped because I still had to drive 2 hours home. I was like, I don't want to mess up this car. Won't have a way home. Have to drive it off to my buddies that was close to that area. Come back. We were going to Texas the next day, so it didn't make any sense. But on to what happened. So, drive shaft was not tightened all the way onto the pinion. So you have your drive shaft. You have, y'all know how, if you're watching this video, you have some type of knowledge of how a car works. But you have the drive shaft, then you used to have a yoke, but on these cars, it just bolts all the way around. And then behind that, that's a pinion bolt that goes inside of that bracket that holds, or bracket or fitting that holds the drive shaft onto the rear axle. What happened is we did not tighten it all the way, and that was kind of on my fault. And a couple of my buddies, they said to tighten it some more. I said, no. The slack's great. Which the slack is when you're going right, left. So whenever you turn the wheels, there's slack. You can kind of feel it. Well, you don't need half an inch. Well, when we took this back off, when I got back from the event, it was like a week after I just left it in the garage, fixed it. What had happened is that slack was about an inch of slack versus a 1/4 inch, and the whole thing was just loose. It was just moving all over the place. So what I did, we just took it off. How we did it again, it was leaking, obviously, because it was loose. Took the drive shaft off, tightened the pinion nut down. Pinion nut, we tightened it down where we had about maybe a 1/4 inch of slack. Put it back on. I drove it around for a couple of days, or not a couple of days, just one day. Drove it around for a day. Did not leak. It's not making any more noises. So I am so happy. I thought I was going to have to take the rear end out and get a new rear end. I just thought something happened with the LSD because the LSD had no fluid in it when I changed the pinion bearing out. There was literally no fluid in there. So I'm kind of happy that kind of happened and I'm kind of happy that I went with my conscience. I didn't push it at the track, because if I would have pushed it, I probably would have fucked something up. So I am glad that I got all that fixed and repaired. Now I have to find tires and really go over the car like 100 times more than I did last time. I guess none of y'all have known this, but after I went drifting for the first time when we went to Oklahoma, that's what got me into it. I wanted to start drifting. Well, when I got into it, my best friend Jordan took me to Oklahoma. That's really what got me like kind of obsessed with it. I was already kind of obsessed with cars. I love cars, but got me more obsessed with it. Did my first event, and I freaking love it. So what I told myself is if I liked it and if I really wanted to get into it, I'd buy a truck. So what had happened these past 3 weeks that I have not been talking on social media or anything, I actually purchased me a truck, and I'm going to show y'all here right now. Got a super great deal on it, but let me go ahead and just show y'all. All right, so yes, I did get an F-150. Did not plan on getting an F-150. I was really going to get a Silverado. I was veering towards a Silverado. One of my buddies has a Toyota Tundra, and then my other buddy, Jordan, he has a Silverado extended cab. Both pull good. Both of the trucks pull the same. This truck actually came up for sale in my area, in my town, so it was only like a couple blocks away. I went and looked at it. and ended up purchasing it. So kind of sounds simple. Oh, found this truck, bought it. No, that's really not how it went. So whenever I went to go look at this truck, or before, we'll just talk about before, I looked at probably 4 or 5 trucks. The first truck, I was really hoping it was a good deal. Dude was only asking $4 grand. Said nothing was wrong with the truck. Went, drove 30 minutes to go look at it. Didn't have AC. For some reason, you had to turn the headlights on to turn the radio on. Tires bald. The whole truck was just freaking riddled and rock dings and scratches. I don't really care about all that stuff, but when the whole truck looks like that, it looks like someone beat it with a chain. Not my cup of tea. Well, I ended up kind of telling that guy I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. Went on my way, looked at another truck. So I looked at this, I want to say it was a Ford. I think it was a Ford F-150. Looked at a Ford F-150. Really wasn't going towards Ford. I was looking at the Chevrolets, but so many of them had so many miles. They were asking way too much money for them, and they just weren't worth it at the time. Sorry, I'm going to put you on this tripod. I'm tired of holding the thing. But actually, went and looked at this Ford F-150. It was like an hour and a half from me, so it was pretty far. Pictures looked great. Talked to him. Dude told me, yes, I'll drive this truck across the country, and told me there's nothing wrong with it. I was like, okay. Came there. I brought my scan reader with me. I always bring that tool with me. If it's not super expensive, go buy one for like 30 bucks at Walmart. It's a great tool to have. Keep it in your toolbox. When you go in to look at a car, especially if it has a check engine light, you know what it is. Well, it had a check engine light. Like, okay. Went to go start the truck, and he didn't even let me start it. He went in there and started it for me. I don't know why. I don't know if there's a special trick. He went in there, started it, and the whole engine was shaking. The truck was shaking. The whole engine was just kind of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I was like, what the heck? And it was a 5.4. And if you know anything about engines or engines, just reliable engines, Ford was not very good at making this engine back in 2004 to 2008. 5.4 made a lot of power, was a decent engine, but it was known for being unreliable, blowing up, consuming oil, shooting spark plugs out the head, breaking spark plugs in the head. Pretty much similar stuff to the 4.6 at the time, the 3-valve, but didn't throw out spark plugs and stuff like that. It was just more of a oil consumption problem and timing chain, stuff like that. But this 5.4 had everything because they put so much power into it, and it was a big engine at the time. Went and drove it. I floored it. I mean, anytime I'm looking at a vehicle, I push it. I push it to its limits, at least 75% of its limits, just so I know that nothing's messed up, transmission's shifting all right, and I have power. Well, when I'm driving it, these trucks come with, I think, 310 horsepower or something like that, and like 360 foot-pound torque. It's a lot of horsepower and torque for a smaller V8 engine. Well, test drove it, floored it. It only went up to 3,000 RPM. I was like, okay, and it would just stay there. It didn't want to go over it, so I was like, okay. Well, drove it back, told the guy, man, let me get my scanner on it. Well, when I did that, he was kind of, oh man, there ain't nothing wrong with this truck. Kind of like that. Gave me a red flag. I wasn't going to buy the truck after that happened. After he kind of acted like that, I was like, I was not planning on buying the truck. Well, I offered him a good offer. I told him, I said, man, I'll give you $3,500. And for the mileage, it had 220,000 miles, acting weird. My scan reader told me that it was just a cam phaser position sensor. Those can be bad and those can be good, can be easy, but I didn't know how the job was going to be. So I wanted to give myself enough money, or if I was going to buy this truck and I wanted to fix it, I was going to give myself enough money where I wouldn't be upside down and I could fix it without losing money. Well, offered him $4,000. I offered $35,000 and he didn't want to take it. I offered him $4,000. He didn't want to take it. So I was like, okay, I'm not buying it. Left. He actually sold that truck. I'm sure he sold it for not what he was wanting. He was wanting $5 grand. Truck with 200,000 miles and running like crap. There's no way you're going to get freaking $5 or $6 grand for it. Unless you find something stupid. But I wasn't that stupid person that day. There's plenty of trucks on the market to look at. Well, on to the story. So when I got this truck, just going on Facebook Marketplace, I've been messaging 100 people at a time, just bunches of people just looking at trucks. This one popped up, messaged her first, and whenever I messaged them, they kind of responded to me and told me they didn't want to take any less than what they were taking. I think they were off, like asking like $7,500. At the time, I did not want to spend that much money on a truck, especially a used one, and I just never messaged her back. Well, Came back, it was a whole week after looking at trucks. I'd messaged her, I said, would you do this? You know, how much is your bottom dollar? Like, everybody has a bottom dollar. I don't care who you are, you have a bottom dollar. Someone shows cash to you and you have something for sale forever and you want to get rid of it, you're gonna do that bottom dollar. But anyways, I offered a price and it was way less than what they wanted. I think they just had it on too long and they wanted to get rid of it. They are buying their son like a newer vehicle and selling this truck. Well, whenever I went up there, looked at the truck, I was just hoping it wasn't a turd, basically. Went up there, had brand new tires on it, started up immediately, ran good, shifted good, four-wheel drive works, no rust anywhere. Just overall perfect truck. Didn't even wager with the price because I already got them down on Facebook Marketplace when I was talking to them. Gave them the cash, gave me the title. It was that simple. Those are the car deals I live for. I don't want to sit there and kick a tire. I don't want somebody coming to my place and kicking a tire, being a tire kicker. Everybody's heard of tire kickers if you have sold a car or bought a car. Well, that was honestly the smoothest process that I've done and made me feel confident about the truck. So on to what the truck is, what's the modifications on it. Everybody's gonna ask, how am I gonna tow with this truck? Well, my car only weighs like 3,000 pounds. So the towing isn't gonna be that big of a deal. I think my car is like right at 3,400 pounds. So that's not gonna be a big issue. I'm gonna have to look for a light duty trailer. I'm gonna use a U-Haul in the meantime to take my car to these events. But onto the truck. Truck is a STX four-wheel drive package, so all that STX means it's sport. Never had an F-150. I've never had a Ford truck, so I don't have that much knowledge of them. But this truck has the painted bumpers. Apparently, the STX package comes with the alloy wheels, fog lights, painted bumpers, the STX badge or whatever, and then this one specifically. I don't know if they're all the STX, but this one comes with vinyl floors, gray cloth seats, bench seat, and then the four-wheel drive's on the floor. So that's honestly like my favorite part of the four-wheel drive on the floor. My Chevrolet, that was such a kind of a pain in the butt with the button and the actuator and all that stuff. This is right on the transmission. I don't have to worry about anything. If it doesn't switch in the transmission, something's wrong with the transmission. That's the perfect thing. But on that, the interior is pretty basic. Still has a stock head unit, rubber wheel. I mean, everything is basic in there. That's what I like about it. Runs good. And the best part, this truck, is it does not have a 5.4 in it. So this has a 4.6. It's basically, I really don't know what type of 4.6 it is. I'm trying to think if it's a 2-valve or 3-valve. I might be wrong. It might be the 3-valve, but it only makes like 280-ish horsepower and like 300 foot-pounds of torque. So it's not super powerful engine, but it's pretty much similar to the Mustang over there. So 4.6, first vehicle I haven't owned that does not leak oil other than the California Special I used to own. So this truck, everything works on it. There's nothing wrong with it. Has these eBay headlights that every teenager loves, and then it has underglow. So I guess they're rock lights, but they're underneath the truck and the wheel wells. That's like all my friends liked it when I was showing it off. That was really funny. But yeah, one good thing about this truck is it does have the reliable engine, reliable Ford. Reliable does not go very good with Ford, but at least I know how to work on this engine, and because it's pretty much similar to the Mustang engine. And that's why I wanted to go Ford truck, just because I drive a Mustang. Why am I not driving a Ford truck? Anyways, so back to the Mustang. This car is ready to go. I actually have the setup I have on it. I have these black wheels that I just got. Those are my new wheels, and then these are my old stock wheels. These are 275s. I put these up in the front with 1.5 inch spacers. Fitment is pretty spot on. So those, I put the wider tires in the front because drifting, you want more grip in the front, you want less grip in the back. Kind of weird, but that's just how it goes. Anyways, got that set up. Car's lowered because I made a video for the struts. And really, there's nothing I have to do. I mean, there's a little oil leak on this car, but I'm not worried about it as long as it has oil in it and it's not leaking super bad. then I'm not going to be worrying about anything that's going to be happening to it. It is a little crowded in here because I put a bunch of my stuff in here already, but you can see there's my spare tires. There's my other spare tires over there. And hopefully I can get at least, I want to at least get 40 laps. That's honestly my goal. If I can get 40 laps, then that'll be my perfect goal. So yep, she's sitting in the garage now. Haven't driven this car in a week, maybe 3 weeks, really. I just haven't had time, and I got the truck now, so it doesn't really make sense to drive it that much unless I really want to. And it's been raining every single day, so I'm not worried about driving it. But anyways, if you like the video, please leave a comment, please leave a like. I really appreciate y'all leaving any type of feedback on anything, whether it's criticism or, you know, good feedback. But yeah, I'm trying to post a video every month. I mean, I don't have that much time to do anything. I mean, I still have time to do stuff, but I've been really busy here lately. I've been working out, skateboarding, trying to get into trying to be, you know, more physical with everything, and, you know, be healthy about it, get my mental state back where it was whenever I was younger. I'm still pretty young, but I want to get my mental state back whenever I, you know, first started YouTube or first got into cars. I want to get my head back in that space. But other than that, please subscribe, please leave a comment, please leave a like. If you like this video, please let me know. Let me down in the comments. I don't care what it says, just something positive. And before I go, I don't know if y'all have ever seen this happen before. So I programmed a key fob to my truck, and it was my old Mustang key fob that I don't use anymore. This is the key fob. So one day I was locking the truck, and I heard from my garage the horn go off. Well, doesn't make any sense, but I guess this key remote is programmed to both my Fords. That's a cool little feature, I guess. They all use like the same key and the same remote. It'd be even cooler if the key worked on both the cars, but it does not. Anyways, I thought I'd share that with y'all. I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, if you're done watching the video and you got all the way to this end, please put the word keyless or something like that, I guess so. But anyways, peace, guys.